Okay, so imagine this. You and your friends plan to go outside and play some games outside when all of a sudden this happens. It starts pouring down rain. Are your plans ruined? Not necessarily. I'm going to give you an alternative that I learned to play 3 years ago. It's a card game called pitch, or called setback, or high-low jack. I'll show you how to score points, how to play the game, and some tips on how to win or get closer to a win each and every time you play. This game involves what I call chip points, basically because we play with poker chips the way we play it, and you win a point for winning the low card of the trump suit, high card of the trump suit, jack of the trump suit, and game points. We'll get to the trump suit later on when I start talking about that, but let's talk about what scores you points towards game point. Any jack you acquire during the game is worth 1 point, queens are worth 2, kings 3, aces worth 4, and 10 is worth 10 points. Now there's different ways to play when it comes to the low point, but the way we play it is whoever plays the low card wins the low point. But according to F.G. Bradley's, which is a card game and a board game company, they say whoever wins the low card wins the low point. Now we're going to talk about gameplay. It's best if it's played between 6 to 8 players in teams of 2. Each player is dealt 6 cards in groups of 3. So this person gets 3, that person gets 3, that person gets 3, until everybody has 6 cards. Then you bid based on how much you think you and your partner will get during that hand. Minimum bid is 2. If you don't think you have enough to get 2, you can pass, but you can always go higher. According to Bicycle Cards, if there's no bid up to the dealer has to bid at least 2. Other ways that are played could be that it's redealt if nobody wants to bid. So the player with the highest bid plays first, and the card that they play determines the trump suit. So let's say that the first person to play plays the ace of diamonds. The diamonds becomes the trump suit. Throughout that hand, you have to follow the trump suit. You have to follow the suit that is played first, or you can play the trump suit. Trump suit will always give you the win of they call it the trick, when everybody throws their cards in. So in this example, let's say queen of hearts is led, that diamonds is your trump. That's 12 points on the board right there, and you have the 7 of hearts in your hand, and you have the king of diamonds in your hand. In this situation, I would play the king of diamonds because that would get you 15 points towards game. And king may be a high card. But if you play the 7, this person and their team gets 12 points. And High-Low Jack, which is basically the website behind this game, recommends to play the trump, in this case the king of diamonds, against 10s when possible, because 10 is higher than anything else. Any face card is going to be lower than a 10. So now let's talk a little bit more about strategy. You always want to pay attention to your chip points. Remember, that's high, low, and jack. Not always will jack. You're not always going to get a jack point, because the jack, when there's only 6 players playing, and there's 36 cards, there's a 52 card deck, that jack could be in the unused part of the deck. So not every chip is going to be awarded during each hand. You also want to watch how much of each suit you have in your hand. So let's say this is your hand. You have 4 diamonds and 2 other suits. I'd be willing to bid 2 on this because not only do you have low card, but that queen may be high, and you got good game if you can try and win some big cards with that. Another strategy is to play the jack when you have the last play. That guarantees that you have that jack point. And when you're playing with chips, you play there's different ways to play. You can play the 7 chips, 9, which is what I always play with, 11, there's 21, and I've even seen people play to 32, but that's a long game. So in this situation, spades is trump. You have the last play. It doesn't matter how many cards are left in your hand. You have the last play of this trick. I want to play that jack there to guarantee that I get that chip, especially if I have, say, 7 or 8 chips between me and my partner and we only need 1 or 2 more to win. But let's change the scenario around a little bit and say that the person in front of you, instead of playing that 5 of hearts, plays the ace of spades. Now I'm not going to throw that jack out, because not only does that give them the jack, now they have 5 points towards game. But if we switch it up even more, let's say your partner throws the ace of spades in there, then I'd be willing to play it, because remember, this is a team game. That goes towards your total. So in the end, next time your plans get rained out, pitch this idea to your friends.